Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another card video at my YouTube channel and blog. I'm so excited to be sharing these two stamp sets with you. These are a couple stamp sets that I designed for Simon Says Stamp, and I designed them a while back, and I haven't been able to share them with you because they just now are released. So if you want to pick up these two stamp sets over at Simon Says Stamp, I'll have links down in the video description below. And speaking of Simon and their new release, today's video is part of a big blog hop with a bunch of different card makers on the internet, all sharing some cards that they've made with the new release from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to be using both of those stamp sets today to create a baby card, and this is going to be a really stamp heavy card. Lots and lots of stamping, lots going on. This card is a party. You're gonna love it. So I'm starting out by stamping two of the little critters down at the very bottom of this watercolor paper. This is some Arches hot press watercolor paper, and it's cut to just slightly, let's see, it is 5x7. I was thinking it was a little bit larger, but it's not. It's exactly 5x7. I knew I was going to be cutting off the edges a little bit, and I wanted it to be slightly smaller than a 5x7, so there'd be a little bit of space around the outside edge. So these three animals right here, I thought I would go ahead and stamp them all at the same time, which didn't turn out to be the best choice because it didn't stamp one area. As I lift away right here, you'll see that the ear on the koala didn't really stamp all that well. I'm going to fix that later using my MISTI stamping tool, but for now I'm going to go ahead and finish stamping the other animals around the other side of the card. So I've just got two animals over here. I would just suggest if you're going to do something like this, only stamp about two animals at a time, because I think anything more than that might be a little bit much for just using a regular stamp press. So now I'm going to bring in my MISTI tool, and I'm going to put that watercolor paper inside. And then I'm going to clean off that koala stamp really well, and then place it over the top and get that lined up perfectly over that stamped area already. And then I'll swing that plastic over the plastic side and pick up the stamp. And now I'll ink up that stamp with my VersaFine black onyx ink that I was using before. And then swing that over, and I'm going to get the perfect restamping of his little ear. I thought that worked out really well. And since I've got the MISTI out, I'll use that for a couple more stamps. I've got that heart balloon, and then I'm just going to stamp the very top of this circle balloon over there as well. And I'll eventually use a black marker and extend those strings down so it looks like the cat is holding the balloons. So I'm placing the area for the greeting over the top. I have this piece of acetate that's been printed on with a grid. I actually got it from Jennifer McGuire. I'm not sure where she got it from or whatever, but it's great for when you want to get your sentiments perfectly straight in your MISTI tool. So go ahead and stamp that welcome little one. And then I'm going to take it outside of the MISTI tool because I'm going to do a lot of little stamping, and this is a little bit easier just using a regular acrylic block. So I'm adding more of those strings coming down from the balloons. And now I'm going to add a bunch of stamping, a bunch of little stuff, little bits, confetti, hearts, stars. I mean, it's just going to really fill in that whole entire area. And I think if I was doing this card again, I might like omit some of the stamping. I think it got a little busy. So if I was to redo this again, I think I probably would not have stamped quite as many things. But like I said before, this card is a party. So it's nice and fun and vibrant, and it has a lot going on, but at the same time, the sentiment is still really in the center area of the card. So now I'm going to be using some Distress inks to do a bunch of coloring. I didn't keep track of the colors in particular, unfortunately, so I know some of you really like to know the specific colors I'm using, but unfortunately I really don't know. Sometimes I'll show it on camera, sometimes I won't. I did use all Distress inks though, so rest assured that if you have all the Distress inks, you should be able to get a similar color. And I'm also doing very messy watercoloring today. This is a really large area to be coloring. I'm not doing any fussy coloring where I'm, making the colors really blend or anything like that. I mostly just wanted to get the colors down onto the card. So this is some really fast, easy watercoloring. I think anyone could do it. It's nice and fun. And I'm going to turn on some music so you guys can enjoy that while I finish the rest of the painting. Okay, so now all of that painting is complete. I'm going to remove my watercolor piece from the board by taking off that blue painter's tape that I used to tape it down. And I'm going to prep my card base. I'm making a 5x7 top folding card. So I've got two pieces of Basil Marshmallow cardstock. One is cut to 5x7.5, and then I'm scoring it a 1/2 inch down. And then the other is 5x7 exactly. So I'm going to take that larger piece with that folded flap and I'll add some adhesive using Tombow Extreme Adhesive. And then I'll take the other panel and just nestle that right inside and fold down that flap. That's going to create the perfect 5x7 card base for me to put my watercolor piece on top of. So I've added some foam adhesive to the back of my watercolor piece and I'm just placing that down onto my card front and pressing that down nice and firm. So I'm going to add a bunch of detail onto these little images. I'm going to first add some Stickles glue, glitter glue. This is Stardust, and I'm going to use a paintbrush. And as long as you clean your paintbrush really well after the fact, you could use whatever brush you want for this. But I find it's easier to get a nice thin layer of glitter if you use a paintbrush to kind of spread that around. So I'm adding all of that Stardust Stickles glitter glue, and then I took some glossy accents and added some shine onto the animals' eyes and noses, and I did that to every single one of the animals. Then grabbed some sequins. These are sequins from Darice. They are in the color Crystal in the size 8mm and 5mm. And I'm just going to place those onto the card where I want them, and then I pick up the sequins with my tweezers, squirt a little tiny spot of Ranger Multimedia Matte, and then put the sequin back down. And that's the easiest way that I found to adhere sequins. So that is the card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, this is part of a blog hop, so make sure you visit my blog. And thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys next time.